Good afternoon. State Representative Brian Ohler of the 64th House District. I wanted to create this video for you today to give you an update of where we are on the budget process. I know as of July 1st, the governor by executive order has taken over all the finances in the state because the legislature failed to do its job by meeting its deadlines on multiple times during the session. And I wanted to basically let you know where we are in that process. I know the date July 18th has been thrown around. The Speaker of the House is under the impression that we can all get in here at that particular day to pass a two-year biennium budget. That date is significant because it is the day following the CBAC negotiation, the labor vote, which they assume is going to go in their favor, so they're ready to come in and vote on this budget the day after. I've had issues with that. I've had issues with the process all along, and I've been quick to call people out on a flawed process. I think they're already assuming how that vote is going to go, and they're confident that they have the votes to pass the two-year budget, which unfortunately they only produced at the 11th hour back on June 30th before OFA, the Office of Fiscal Analysis, could even have enough time to truly vet their budget and to see if it was even feasible or viable. We met today downstairs. It was a public forum hosted by the House Republicans and our Minority Leader, Themis Claridis. We presented our version 4 of our biennium budget. This is version 4. Since April, the House Republican Caucus has had 4 different versions out, fully vetted by the Office of Fiscal Analysis, and it is a solid foundation, a framework to start with. It's something that we've pleaded with the Speaker of the House, Joe Arasimowicz, to let us sit down in the chamber, let us debate, let us put up any amendments that we need to, but let us collectively keep moving forward because at all costs we tried to avoid where we are today, and that is right now the state being run by the governor and his executive order, which is hurting our nonprofits, hurting our towns, hurting a lot of people, and it wasn't needed. We could have avoided this, but we've always led from the front, and this is version 4. We went through it page by page, line by line. The public were invited. It was a great turnout. Unfortunately, there was only 6 House Democrats there. We had about 3/4 of our caucus there, but including the House Speaker, there was only 6 Democrats, which was unfortunate. This is, all hands should be on deck with this. We've proposed a number of great pieces of the puzzle, and you know, we're working with a $20 billion budget, and we're working with a $5 billion deficit over the next few years. So there's a big hole to fill, and how you balance that took a lot of hard work. Being a member on appropriations for the last 6.5 months, we were working day and night and even weekends at times to find out how this could all come together, how the puzzle could be solved. And we feel we did that. You know, we have a lot of great proposals for municipal aid relief, letting the towns control their mill rate by eliminating the car tax rate that it was, I believe last year, SB 1 put that mandate on the towns. We don't include any sales tax increases. We aren't legalizing marijuana. We aren't putting tolls on the roads. The teacher's retirement, that 1/3 option, we're not putting that on the towns. I know that was a big stress point for a lot of municipalities and elected officials. And it does not increase the real estate conveyance tax. I know we've heard a lot from a lot of realtors about that as well. You know, education cost sharing, excess cost sharing, all the education funding, we put in $10 million more, and that was per the courts that we had to increase that funding. We're holding towns harmless. And what that means is we're keeping you at rates where they've been in the last year or two, so it's more predictable. We thought it was unfair for all of a sudden the governor to propose these drastic cuts and drastic changes and expect them to be implemented in the next fiscal year. That's not enough time for our towns to prepare, and we've also included in our budget, we're holding ourselves accountable, and we're going to require that we pass at least knowing what the town aid is by April 1st, because we require our towns to pass a budget by a certain time. Well, it's unfair for them to pass a budget without knowing what they're really going to get as far as state aid. So we've put that mandate on ourselves. If this goes through, that says, listen, if we're going to make our towns pass their budget in a timely manner, they need to know what they're getting exactly by April 1st so they can do so accordingly. We do have labor savings. We'd like to reduce the workforce over time, the state workforce, by 10% through attrition. We don't expect any layoffs, no firings. This is going to be by simple attrition. And we need to control our debt service. Our general obligation bonds last year alone was $2.2 billion. and that is our debt service is about 15 to 20% of the general fund, and we can't continue to take that credit card and when there needs to be a certain project or times in need, we just keep swiping that. And as you know, our credit rating continues to plummet. We're the lowest in the nation, and yes, we continue to get these general obligation bonds, but at a higher interest rate. And when we can't even afford to pay the interest rate, how do we ever reduce the principal? It just doesn't happen. The formulas and the mathematics never add up. So we need to address that. Other operating expenses cost the state $550 million each year. This is travel for departments, for agencies, leases, marketing, memberships to certain clubs and organizations. There are savings there, and we think we can address $550 million worth of savings. So this is version 4, and we've been working day and night to try to plead to our colleagues across the aisle. Listen, get your speaker to call this budget. Let us amend it as needed, but it is a foundation and a framework to start, and we're proud of every version we've produced. Is it the best way forward? It's not perfect. I'll certainly say that from my standpoint, but it is certainly somewhere to start. And we're the only caucus in this building to produce line-by-line vetted budgets 4 times now since April. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for reaching out, emails, phone calls, social media. If you see me out in the district, I love getting the chance to talk to you. I've been listening to your concerns, and I feel that the Northwest Corner certainly fares well in this budget, and I'll continue to work hard for you. So thank you.